In this video, I wanted to have a little bit more fun and create an SEO tier list and put all these different SEO tactics and implementation things into a tier list, so then you can know what you should be focusing on and what you should be avoiding at all costs. So for those that don't know me, my name is Zach. I run an SEO studio called Zibby SEO. We help e-commerce brands scale their organic search revenue. And in this video, I wanted to just have a little bit of fun and play around with an SEO tier list and just show what kind of tactics I'm using and how you should be using them on your store. Now, excuse my voice, I'm a little bit sick right now, but nevertheless, let's get stuck in. First one we've got here is link insertions. Now, link insertions, if you don't know, is when you outreach to a website, they've got good content, you ask for a link already on the page that has good authority straight away. Now, link insertions, personally one of my favorite link building tactics. And so I am tempted to put them in elite. The only reason I won't is because if you buy link insertions from a platform or a provider, they are not as good a quality. If you build them yourself, or if you go through me and I build them for you, we actually get real websites with real link insertions that aren't oversold. So for that reason, I'm going to put them in A tier rather than elite, but really good way to get some backlinks, link insertions. Next one here, we've got Fiverr backlinks straight away. I'm putting that in avoid at all costs. People sell you cheap $25, $5 links or whatever, and they're just on spammy websites. They're going to potentially harm your website. Just avoid them. There's no point doing them. Next, digital PR. Now this is, again, a competitor for the top. The only reason I'm not going to put it in elite is because it is very expensive. And so that means it's not as accessible to every brand in every store. And so for that reason, I'm going to put it in A tier. Now, it is a great way to get some high authority links, but again, it is just a little bit more difficult and a little bit more expensive. So I'm putting it in A tier, probably just slightly behind link insertions for that reason. I've got here 500 word blogs. Now, this is probably a C tier for me. If you're only writing 500 words on a blog, sometimes that can be, beneficial. But most of the time, it's probably pretty thin content. You're probably not really achieving that much. And so to have a specific page that only has 500 words on it and it be a blog, it's probably not really going to do too much. It's not going to harm your website per se, but it can reduce your SEO performance. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in C tier. And next, I've got AI content that is edited. Now you see here, I've also got AI content that is unedited. So we'll do both of these together. Edited AI content, and put that in B tier. It can be really good. I use it all the time. AI is just so quick and so efficient. And so there's not much point in not using AI. In fact, I probably would even put it in A tier. It's just a great way to get content out there much faster. But the key here, making sure that it is edited. And then opposed to that, AI content that is unedited, I would probably put this in avoid at all costs. There are a lot of brands, a lot of people that will use AI content and they will just publish it. They won't look at it, they won't edit it. Now, this can be, potentially harmful for your site. It can trigger to Google that you're just publishing content for the sake of publishing content, which then can penalize you. It's kind of on the blind of being in C tier because it's not the worst thing to happen, but I would just avoid it at all costs. There's no need to do unedited AI content. However, if you are going to edit it and use it as a way to get content out there quicker, it's an A tier for sure. All right, next we have got keyword research. Now, keyword research is elite. If you're not doing keyword research, you don't know what you're writing content about. You don't know what keywords that you are trying to target. And so essentially, if you're not doing keyword research, then everything else that you're doing just doesn't matter. You need to make sure that you're targeting the correct keywords, matching the search intent and everything like that. So for that reason, it's elite. Not much more to say there. URL structure is next. Now, URL structure, what I mean by this is actually looking at URL structure, making sure that it's clean, it's short, it's efficient, and so forth. I'll put this one in B tier. It's pretty good. The only reason I'm not putting it any higher is because it's not the be all and end all. Now, that being said, if your URL structure sucks, then yes, it should be higher on your priority list. But across the board, it's probably B tier. It's pretty good. You should definitely look at it, but it's nothing that you should be focusing too much time on. Now, optimizing meta tags kind of falls into the same category for me. Optimizing meta tags is, I'm probably going to put it at the top of B tier. I think it could be, you could argue it's A tier, but just because Google changes out the meta tags most of the time anyway, it's again not something that you necessarily should spend so much time on. However, It is something that we do for all our clients. We make sure that we optimize the meta tags. But again, I'm putting it in B tier because it's not something that's at the top of the priority list. And so therefore, yeah, B tier I think is pretty appropriate. Next, we have content length. Now, this kind of what we've got here, 500 word blogs, should you be focusing on the content length? I'm probably going to say maybe B tier. Now, the reason for this is focusing on the content length purely as a kind of checklist item is, that should be avoided at all costs. But in terms of making sure that your content has some length to it, I'd say that's a low B tier, high C tier kind of tactic. I probably would put it in C tier actually, because is it really going to do that much? No. More importantly, is you're matching the search intent and the user intent. So in terms of the actual content length, it's nothing major that you should worry about. But again, as we can see here, like you don't want to have too little, you don't want to have too much. You do want to focus on it somewhat. So it's not avoided at all costs. Probably high C tier, low B tier for that one. All right, next I have page speed. First, page speed, probably B tier again. I think it's important most of the time, especially with e-commerce brands. Your websites are pretty fast. You're not necessarily going to have to worry about it too much. So again, I wouldn't worry about it too much and put that one in B tier. Now, on-page SEO as a kind of broad topic, I'm chucking that in elite tier. Now, similar to keyword research, if your on-page SEO isn't kind of clean and optimized, you can have a look at my other videos. I've got a video here talking about your on-page SEO checklist. Making sure that everything is clean and structured is elite. It means that it's so much easier for Google and other search engines to read your content, and it's easier for users to follow along that content as well. So I'm putting that in elite tier. Next, we've got blog content. For blog content, a couple of years ago, it was probably A tier, elite tier. I'm going to put it in B tier now. Probably a little higher than page speed, probably a little higher than URL structure. I'm going to chuck it right there. I think it is important, but the type of blogs that you are creating these days is much more important than just putting out blogs for the sake of it. A couple of years ago, as I said, that would have been different, but for now, I'm putting it in B tier. Focusing on your H1, again, that's probably another B tier item for me. I'm going to chuck that right next to blog content, probably a little bit higher. Scratch that. I am going to put it in A tier. I think focusing on your H1 and making sure that that is clean and kind of gives the title of your page is important. It's going to help users and Google understand what the page is about. So I'm put it at the bottom of A tier. Now, user and search intent. This one I'm going to chuck in elite. To match the user and search intent with your content is elite. That is how you rank in search results. It's not necessarily about your content length or just putting in keywords or anything like that. Actually matching the user/search intent is elite. It's how you get ranking. So yeah, elite tier for that one. Optimizing collection pages. This as well for e-commerce brands is elite. It's pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, with on-page SEO, doing this means that you can rank in the search results for high intent, more importantly, high transactional keywords. So this for e-commerce brands, I'll probably put it a little bit higher because I think that is where the money is made. Fixing broken links, I'm going to put that one in A tier. Super important. You need to make sure that you fix all your broken links, because if you don't, users and Google are going to click them, follow them, whatever, and then they're going to end up on a broken page. So it's super important to focus on fixing the broken links. Now, reactive PR or Haro, this is another really great link building strategy. Probably going to put it on par with kind of digital PR here. Again, you could argue that this is elite, but just purely because of how unscalable it is, like in terms of you're relying on other people to look for your expertise basically. And so for that reason, I'm going to put it in A tier, probably a little bit lower as well. Image alt text, this is another one. Now, for e-commerce brands, I'm probably going to put it at the bottom of B tier, maybe even at the top of C tier, to be honest, because it's not super important. It depends on your brand. Like I've had a client before where they've got so many people to their website through images, but that was an image focused kind of brand. Now, when it comes to e-commerce, you necessarily going to do that? Probably not. Like if you're selling shoes, people aren't necessarily going to the image tab. So I'm put that at the top of C tier. It's, you should focus on it, you should do it, but it's nothing that's going to drastically change SEO performance. FAQs, I'm going to put that one in B tier. FAQs are important to have on your site. You should put those on, your collection pages, maybe on some blog content as well. Put them in B tier for that one. Topical authority, this one is another B tier one for me. It's probably a little bit higher within B tier. I'm going to chuck it probably there. Yeah, it's important. It helps your overall SEO performance. And so yeah, I'm chucking in B tier, not much more to that. Keyword usage, this is bottom of C tier for me. Like focusing on how often you use the keyword in your pages is kind of irrelevant. I'd almost put it at avoid, well, not avoid at all costs, but it's nothing you should really focus on. Like, you need to be matching the user intent and search intent before you're worried about the amount of times you're using the keyword on your page. SSL certificate, this is just making sure that your site is secure. I'm gonna put that one in A tier. It's A tier because it's important, but it's also just like, it's easy. You don't have to do anything. So everyone that sells you, they need to do your SSL certificate or anything like that. It's just irrelevant. So A tier because you need it, but in terms of what you have to do for it, it's down the bottom. You don't really need to do much at all. We've got more broad here. We've got technical SEO. Now I put on page in elite. I'm going to put technical at the top of A tier. The reason I'm not going to put it in elite tier is because if you have the best technical SEO and you focus on it so much, that is amazing. But if you don't have on-page SEO and you don't have content on your site, then your technical SEO doesn't really matter. Like, this is where you're going to make the most money, optimizing collection pages and on-page. Whereas, making sure your site is technically sound, it's important, but it's not going to make you the most money. It's just going to make it easier for crawlers to search your site. And then if here you've got off-page SEO, I'm going to put that one in A tier, in elite tier as well. Sorry, this is on par with on-page. Like, the reason technical is down here and on-page and off-page is above, as I said, technical is important, but if you don't have any content and you don't have good authority, then it doesn't matter how technically sound your website is, it's not going to rank. It's not going to make you more money through SEO, whereas having on-page and off-page SEO is. Next, we've got internal linking. For me, this is probably one of the most important and effective SEO techniques that you can use. So I'm putting it at the top of elite. Like, if you're not doing internal linking, and also there's a technique to doing it, making sure that you're linking down your funnel. So if you're doing it properly, it is absolutely elite. It can drastically improve your SEO performance. And especially if you have a high authority or high domain site, internal linking strategy can just do insane work for you. Next, we've got schema markup. For this, I'm going to put it in probably B tier. I think schema markup's important. It's, again, similar to SSL, where like it's a one-off job. Basically, you kind of implement your schema and that does the work for you. Now, does it really help you rank? Not necessarily. It just makes your pages look better in the search results. So for that reason, I put it in B tier, but it is important. So the top of B tier. Content quality. This for me is probably towards the top of A tier, similar to kind of user and search intent. Having good content quality is important. So it kind of goes hand in hand with those ones there. So I put it in A tier. Blog comment links. This is where you might see on some blogs, people will comment on the blog and put a link there. This is avoid at all costs. This is probably what those Fiverr backlinks might be. And so having blog comment links, it's just irrelevant. Don't do it. Don't pay anyone to do it for you. It doesn't really do anything. Guest posts, another great and common link building tactic. I'm going to put these at the top of B tier. They're effective, but not as effective as link insertions, digital PR and the like. And also, especially if you're buying from a platform, the guest posts that they build are generally pretty shit. And so just probably avoid those ones. If you're doing them yourself and you've got a good quality provider, then guest posts can be effective. So I'll put it in B tier. Anchor text. This for me is probably another B tier one. We'll check it about here. Like, having good anchor text on your links within your site and within your backlinks is important. It's not the be all and end all, but it's something that you should focus on. So put it in B tier. So we're down to the last two. We've got updating all content. Again, I'm probably going to put that one in A tier, just above SSL. It's important. If you've got content, especially if you've got a large site, the search results change, dramatically in 6 months, 12 months, and especially over the years. So if you've had a very long site on the internet and you've got all this content you haven't updated, then that's an easy way to get some quick wins. So updating all content is super important. And finally here, I have reactive PR, which I've already got. So I've obviously put that in twice so we can get rid of that one. So there you go. That's my little SEO tier list. Now, just to clarify what we've got here: internal linking, keyword research, optimizing collection pages, on-page SEO, user/search intent, and off-page SEO are all the elite SEO strategies that I recommend, that I do all the time for my clients. And that's how we get some great results for every client that we work with. There you go. Hopefully that was insightful. As I said, my name is Zach. I run Zibby SEO. We help Shopify brands scale their organic search revenue, just like we did with this brand, giving them record sales months. And as you can see, some amazing results here. So if you want to book a call, click the first link in the description and we can help scale your organic search revenue today. If not, make sure you subscribe and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.